see, maybe we can share with other students to understand what's going on and so on during the lesson, to show the pattern, the model of the lesson. Yeah, no problem.
If valuable tips and tricks are given to the students.
Now I can see them. Good evening, dear.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, I'm so happy to meet you. My name is Ola. And your precious teacher told me that you really want to meet me to let me share my experience, how I learned English. So it's a pleasure for me. So what are your names?
My name is Muhammad Sharif Hussain, and this is Nusrat.
Yeah, so nice to meet you. It's a pleasure. Yeah, and actually, I can share just general tips how I, kind of my experience of my way of learning English and what things really worked for me personally, for example. Yeah, well, actually, after graduation university, as an English teacher and translator, of course, I had some fears, some problems as well. So, I mean that even after graduation, sometimes students can be weak with English. Then I decided to go through my way. And of course, I suppose that a lot of people, they are in search of some secrets, some, kind of magic pills, how to learn English. But I believe that first of all, the secret is hardworking. That students, English learners, they have to work every single day for a few hours. And the material, it should be different, of course. Read a lot and translate a lot, rewriting unknown words. I know the position of some teachers, English teachers, they say just don't use translation. My position is a bit opposite. Maybe, I don't know, due to my brain anatomy or anything, but I'm up for translation because that's how I can keep in mind and remember the words better. So it's my opinion. Well, and of course, while reading or watching a lot of videos, again, what is the necessary amount, for example, essential amount in reading? I suppose, especially if you are studying for IELTS, it's a good idea to read about at least 10, 20 pages a day of different topics, writing unknown words and expressions, and, which is most important, inactive phrases. Sometimes, for example, you can come across, okay, I understand it. But if you feel like you don't use it in everyday speech, it's a bit inactive. So don't be lazy, rewrite, find the translation, and learn. I used the method of rewriting on separate papers, some new words, and I had been learning them for a week, for 2 weeks, and so on. Right now, my learner students, they use special apps, flashcard apps, something like this. It's about reading, the amount. Next, I have an idea that you can watch different videos, but again, about 10 videos a day. I'm up for subtitles.
I have a question. How can I learn and get by heart a new word? Because in IELTS, synonym, paraphrase are very important to find the exact answer on regarding section. Please give me some suggestion about this.
How to learn by heart, and remember, keep in mind the words properly. So I can split it into a few sections. The first, for example, when you cover some information like read or watch any videos, as I said, you write unknown words and expressions as well, find the translation, and then you can write on separate papers. You might have heard this method. But the thing is that it's a good idea. You are supposed to learn them for a week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, and then repeat again and again. The next way, the next method approach is that you can learn articles by heart. I'll explain why. Because as I started telling you that when I graduated university in 2005, of course, I had some experience and I used English at work, but still I had some fears. But I believe that behind our fears is lack of knowledge. And then I had an idea, what if I start learning some articles by heart that I can find in course books, word books, and that I'm interested in. And I put or set a goal to learn articles every single day for 3 months and then see my results. And I did it. So if you, for example, learn a certain article by heart during a week, not only words and expressions get activated, but grammar rules, some structures, and you will reach the level when you don't have to think about the rule. When you learn something, some article, some text, every single day during a week, for example, or 2 weeks. And on the other hand, you can improve your memory significantly. Well, and of course, going over some materials, like studying for IELTS through certain materials, find a lot of interesting articles. They are related to environment, for example, I don't know, endangered animals, social problems. And inside, you will see a lot of necessary, advanced synonyms. For example, how to say instead of beautiful, you can use stunning, glorious, and so on, And when you learn these articles by heart, nothing wrong with it. It's good for your brain, for your memory, and you can keep in mind synonyms more advanced than basic ones. Moreover, I know that you focus your students on IELTS, you help your students with IELTS, but I want to share my experience. When I went to study in the Netherlands, what problem most students faced with? That when we got together, we didn't know each other and we didn't know what to talk about. It was a problem during the breaks, for example, when we are out of our lesson. And the thing is, when you learn a lot articles, different topics by heart, sometimes I give my students a motivational speech. We watch together, we go over, translate, rewrite, and then they rewrite and learn by heart. And that's how you accumulate topics you can bring up with strange people when you meet together. That's important as well. So it's like, for me, killing not 2 birds, but a lot of birds with 1 stone.
Hello, it's me, Nusrat. I have just a simple question. How can I learn the idiomatic expressions? Thanks.
Yeah, I have some approach that I've developed again along with my students. For example, a teacher can introduce you an idiom, maybe give a translation, maybe provide a few examples. You can again rewrite, maybe learn by heart, repeat it, but as well I offer you can Google for extra examples to find 10, 20 sentences, how this idiom is integrated in different sentences. One thing. The next thing we use, for example, my favorite idiom is a blessing in disguise. Maybe you might have heard about it. If something wrong is happening right now, you think, oh my God, why on earth this horrible situation is going on with me? But then in a period of time, in a few weeks, in a year, you realize it was a blessing. It was a good thing that happened with me, a blessing in disguise. So, and I started telling my cases in my own life where I can describe this idiom or apply this idiom from my own personal life. Then I ask my students, have you ever had this case in life that you can describe as a blessing in disguise? So on the one hand, you activate this idiom, right? On the other hand, you improve your speaking skills because you try, okay, how to start telling this story, what words to use. And again, it's okay to use glossary, vocabulary during the process of retelling the story. For example, you start retelling and you fail to remember some words, how to tell, how to proceed, continue telling. It's okay. You can, during the lesson, you can look up vocabulary, see how to say, maybe write down and proceed retelling. So this is my case. Or maybe if you are learning, I don't know, at home on your own, you meet a new idiom, try to write down, not maybe in format, in pattern of the essay, but about 10 sentences. If anything similar as described in the idiom happened ever happened with you or with your acquaintances, and during writing you keep in mind it better and you improve again. Even through writing you can improve your speaking skills, because you understand, oh my god, I don't know this expression, or I don't quite remember it. So this is really great way to keep in mind idioms, because it's a good question. Again, it was my problem. I knew a lot of idioms, but I realized I didn't use it in real life while talking with foreigners, because I understood I didn't see them integrated inside the sentence. So you need a lot of sentences. And again, to my mind, learning English even is not about hours. How many hours, how many years, how much information you cover every single day. Again, through reading, watching videos, learning by heart, doing exercises. And when you meet the same idiom, for example, in 5 different sources, you meet it again and again, you remember it. And again, maybe I talk a lot, but I want to share all these ideas, because at the same time I've been learning our brain anatomy a lot. So I try to combine teaching English and brain anatomy. So it's like, for example, talking about me, when I meet a new person the first time, right? The first time. Then the second day in a week, I can go around the city, and maybe there is high possibility I will not notice this new person in the crowd. But if I meet this person 5, 10 times, I will see him and say hello. Maybe something similar happened with you. The same about words. If you meet the same words, idioms, phrasal verbs, expressions again and again, many, many times, you will keep them while listening. You will understand them while other people say. You will identify them, something like this. So it's my idea, just write the story or share with your teacher this story, how you can apply this idiom in real life.
So
yeah, indicators, you are totally right, it's true. Actually I want to highlight that I don't know why right now they don't mention about it, but actually while assessing the work, exam work or test work, of course there are crucial indicators, and as you mentioned, they are idioms, if you use idioms in your writing, in your essays, and during the speaking task. Phrasal verbs, advanced words, like I said, instead of beautiful, nice, it's better to use stunning, breathtaking, gorgeous, and so on, and about all the words. Yeah, and maybe, if you let me speak about more, I want to share this idea. I introduced it in my videos, that, for example, a few weeks before the exam, you've got just a few weeks. So I offer my students to make up lists. For example, 10 idioms, make up a list of 10 idioms and repeat them every single day, just to let your brain focus on a certain list of idioms, list of phrasal verbs. And maybe even we make up lists of, as I said, the most common words. Bad, instead of bad, you can say horrible, grueling, and so on. Instead of beautiful, you say, as I said, stunning, gorgeous, and so on. The most common words, something like this. Yeah, and when you focus on certain lists, week before an exam, 2 weeks before an exam, for sure you will keep them in mind during the exam, and for sure you will use them during the speaking part. And that's how, of course, you will get a higher band or higher scores, if any exam.
I'm fresh candidate of IELTS. Would you please give a piece of suggestion, advice? Thanks.
Yeah, actually, so I suppose the thing is to avoid boredom, for example, that it's a good idea to use a diverse, exercises. For example, you can work 10, 15 minutes with grammar exercises. And again, going over grammar, you learn new vocabulary as well. Then switch and start reading and translating. And I wanted to highlight that during reading and watching, it's really important to find your kind of matching level. If you feel like you've got a lot of new words, a lot of new expressions, and you kind of get frustrated, it means that it's not an appropriate level for you. Go down, one level down, two levels down, because when you cover the information, you should or you are supposed to understand about 50-70%. If you understand only 10-20%, it's too difficult and you will get upset, something like this, and think like it's not my cup of tea. Well, so find appropriate level. And then I offer even the candidates who are going to, take IELTS exam, start grammar with, kind of the starter, the beginner level, because again, it's my experience. Some of my students, they said, I'm okay with grammar, but we started going and I can find a lot of gaps. So it's better to go maybe fast, the starter level, but go over it to understand if you have any gaps. Well, next, again, diverse exercises. Watch a lot, but for subtitles, because you can understand, okay, I don't know these words, I have to rewrite and learn them. Learning by heart. As I just told you about idioms, trying to retell your story if you or your acquaintances, friends have the same story related to the idiom. Also, it's a good idea to improve speaking, and I suppose to gain confidence, you can tell your teacher, or you can just record your voice telling about the things you did yesterday or today in the morning. You can use just past simple only, but go in detail. What were you busy with? What did you see? If you watch video, what was the video about? What did you find out? Something new, something like this. So trying to go over your maybe errands, but in very detail. Well, and if you are interested in something, try to find topics according to your interests and hobbies, future work, and so on.
How to be fluent in English?
I can tell you something, again, based on my experience. As I said, it's working really hard to accumulate a lot of words, phrasal verbs, idioms, grammar structures, learn a lot by heart. Then I can tell you about my stages in English. So the first stage is when I started working, and I started communicating with foreigners, but at work. As I said, at work, you've got some limited vocabulary and some limited questions you have to sort out and so on. So I started to become fluent at work at first, after graduation of university. Well, then, of course, as I said, I had some fears. I started learning a lot of text by heart. Then my coach advised me, Ola, whatever work you have, always you need to have at least a few students. And this was I can call my next stage. When I started teaching, my English started going up and up, when I started teaching. So that's why for some students, I advise as well, if you have anybody to teach kids, teens, adults, it's great, because you understand on your own. When you want to explain something, you started matching some necessary words. Then my next stage was going to university, to Europe. There again, it was at first a bit stressful situation, and while learning by heart, I insist on it, because when I went to the Netherlands, during the first 2 days, I was under pressure, and I could remember only the words from songs or from the text I learned by heart. My next stage was, I suppose, when I started teaching online, because more adults who lived abroad, they were advanced, and it was my next stage, I suppose, because I started talking with more advanced in English people, advanced in English. Well, and maybe, I suppose, I can give an idea. I've heard about it, how to become a fluent. Start vlogging, right? Vlogging. When you want to make video and you want to tell something about you, about your hobbies, share your skills, and you want to introduce it in English, and you can make a video on your own, and then you say something like this.
Okay.
So maybe
Okay.
start blogging as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Till next
Goodbye.
time.
Hello.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you.